Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you all can hear me, see the screen properly, very clear. Let me check it out. I hope you all can hear me, see the screen clear. Yes, I hope everything is fine and clear. Yes, let me rectify. 1 second. Let me correct. Are you all ready for the class? Are you guys all ready for the class? Everybody? Yes. Tell me something on the chat box if anyone is here. Instead of keeping quiet, tell me something on the chat box. Yes, Rojana, good morning. You can comment me something on the chat box. Whether you can hear me or not. Yes. If there is any problem with the audio, you have to inform me right now. Okay. This is our discussion Telegram group where we conduct regular discussion, quizzes, polls, updates on our classes, OMR sheet examination, and all the discussions are happening inside this small but really useful Telegram group. At BioPointNew is our Telegram group link. I have provided it also in the description box also. Those who haven't yet subscribed our wonderful channel BioPoint NEET, don't forget to subscribe it right now. Okay, yes, Calvin, good morning. We were discussing with the central neural system. Neural control and coordination was our today's topic, and we have been discussing with the central nervous system, that is about the brain, which we discussed in the last class, right? We discussed about the brain. I'll show you. We discussed about the human neural system, about the brain, the different types of neural system, and everything in the last class. In the last lecture. So followed by that, we discussed about the different kinds or the different parts of the brain: cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, mesencephalon, prosencephalon. All these different parts of the brain also we have studied in the last class, and I have already mentioned that you have to read your NCERT textbook along with me. Yes, I hope you guys have read the NCERT of this chapter up to the topics taught till now. And last day we stopped with this, that is a spinal cord we began. And today we are going to discuss about the spinal cord and the reflex action. Let's begin with. The spinal cord is enclosed. The spinal cord is enclosed with the spinal canal. The spinal cord is enclosed with the spinal canal of the vertebral column. Here, the spinal cord is also protected by the meninges, which is a three-layered. The meninges is actually a three-layered protective covering of our brain. So the spinal cord is also protected by the meninges, which is three-layered. It has dura mater, pia mater, and arachnoid mater, which we mentioned in the last session, that is lecture number 3. It has a central canal. It has a central canal consisting of the CSF. What do you mean by CSF? What is CSF? On the chat box, anyone? On the chat box, anyone? On the chat box, anyone? What do you mean by CSF? Shrujana or Calvin, anybody can tell me the answer. Yes, absolutely, Shrujana. It is the cerebrospinal fluid. Yes, cerebrospinal fluid. So this cerebrospinal fluid is actually what? Calvin got the point. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, abbreviation question, can come as an MCQ your NEET exam. Okay, so cerebrospinal fluid also is present in the brain. Also, it is present to protect the brain from mechanical shocks and injuries. And also inside the spinal cord, also we have the cerebrospinal fluid in order to protect the spinal cord from mechanical shocks and injury. In the brain, we studied that the outer is the gray matter and the inner is the white matter. But in case of spinal cord, we have the outer white matter and the inner gray matter. What do you actually mean by the white matter? The white matter is constituted by the axon. Okay, the white matter is obtained. The white matter is got from the axon. The part where we obtain the white matter is actually there we are seeing the axon of the neuron, and the gray matter means we are saying the cyton or the cell body. Clear? Cyton or the cell body. Guys, 1 second. Am I audible? Am I audible? Yes. So the spinal cord, it has the following function, that is conduction of impulses to and from the brain, and it is a center for all spinal reflexes. That is reflex action. Reflex action. So the spinal cord, conduction of impulses to and from the brain, and it is also the center of spinal reflexes. So reflex actions are controlled not by the brain. The reflex actions are generally controlled by the spinal cord. Next, that is all about the central nervous system. That is, we studied that the central nervous system consists of two main parts. That is, we have the brain as the first part and the spinal cord as the second part of the central nervous system. So we are moving on to the second type of nervous system, that is the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, it includes the cranial nerves. Actually, this parts of the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, actually the parts of peripheral nervous system is nerves. Nervous tissue, all these things are the parts of the peripheral neural. So the peripheral neural system consists of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. You don't have to study the names of each of these spinal and the cranial nerves. Okay, no need to study like that the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves name, which we'll study when we reaches our medicine. After your NEET exam, when you reach your medical colleges, you will study about the name of each of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves in detail along with its structure. Done? Yes. Yes, Calvin and Srujana, done everyone. Thank you so much. Yes. So I'll finish it in just 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes I needed for finishing this, only small portion. Okay. So the nerve, any issue with the audio? Any issue with the audio? Guys, any issue with... Now is it fine? Now is it fine? Give me hearts on the screen. Yes, thank you so much. So, nerve fibers are of peripheral nervous system are of two types, that is the efferent nerves and the efferent nerves. Very important terms, NEET MCQs. Let me finish it fast. Okay. So, very important, don't get confused with these two terms. First is afferent nerve. When we studied about the excretory system, there we studied about efferent arteriole and the efferent arteriole. Here we have the efferent nerves and the efferent nerves. The main important thing you have to check it here is the afferent fiber is the sensory neuron, and the efferent neuron is the motor neuron. What is the main function of the efferent fibers? They carry impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Guys, when we are touching, this is a hot candle, you suppose. When we are touching this particular candle, a particular impulse will pass on from our, oh my god, guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Yes. So I have been receiving certain messages from a 10th group. Okay, they have an exam today, that's why. Okay, it's over. Yes. When we are touching this particular candle, a particular impulse is transmitted from our hands to the spinal cord, which is the center of reflex action. Right? So this particular impulse from the receptor, from the sense organ to the spinal cord or the brain is carried out by the sensory neuron, and from the spinal cord it has to come back to the particular muscle or the gland to remove a hand. So that is actually done from the motor neuron. Clear? Clear? Done, everyone? Yes. So the peripheral nervous system has main two division, that is a somatic neural system and the autonomic neural system. Somatic neural system and the autonomic neural system. Let's discuss in detail about the somatic neural system first and then to autonomic nervous system. Yes. So the somatic neural system relays impulses from the central nervous system into the skeletal muscle. What is the function of somatic neural system? It conducts the impulses from the central nervous system, that is either from the brain or the spinal cord to the skeletal muscle. Okay, so relays impulses from the central nervous system to the cord. Okay, that is the function of somatic neural system. Next is the autonomic neural system. Autonomic neural system, it transmits impulses from the central nervous system to the involuntary organs and the smooth muscle. Okay, from the involuntary organs and the smooth muscles, it transmits impulses from the central nervous system into the smooth muscles. That is, motor neurons are associated over here. So the autonomic nervous system ANS is of mainly two types, that is, first one sympathetic neural system, second one is the parasympathetic neural system. Guys, tell me the hormone associated with, yeah, I have already told. So adrenaline is a hormone that is associated with the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, sorry. Sympathetic nervous system is associated with the adrenaline hormone. The adrenaline hormone just prepares our body for fight or flight during the necessary situation. Looks over here, everyone. Sympathetic nervous system prepares our body for fight or flight. What are its functions? It dilates the pupil, It inhibits salivation, increases the heartbeat, relax airways. Okay, so inhibit the activity of the stomach, stimulate release of glucose and inhibit the gallbladder secretion, and inhibit the activity of intestine, secrete epinephrine, non-epinephrine, etc. So among this, guys, the most important statement, the most important one is sympathetic nervous system dilates the pupil, parasympathetic nervous system constricts the pupil. Parasympathetic nervous system reduces the heartbeat. Parasympathetic nervous system reduces the heartbeat, and the sympathetic nervous system increases the heartbeat. That is the most important function of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, done everyone? Have you all got the point? Calvin and Sujana, have you all got the point? Yes. So, sympathetic nervous system prepares the body to cope up with emergencies, stress, dangers, etc. Situation, situation. Oh my God. Any issue? Now is it fine? Now can you hear me? See the screen? Now you can see the screen? Yes. So it increases the heartbeat, breathing rate, constrict the arteries, and elevates the boiling point. Next is the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system returns the body to a resting state after the stressful situation, thereby slowing down our heartbeat, dilates the arteries, lowers our blood pressure, etc. So, whatever condition has the sympathetic nervous system made inside our body, the parasympathetic nervous system is antagonistic to that. That is, it dilates all, or it reduces the effect of all other things happened by the sympathetic neural system. Next is the visceral nervous system. Visceral nervous system is actually a part of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, visceral nervous system is a part of the peripheral nervous system. It includes the nerves, fibers, ganglia, and the plexus, by which the impulse travels from the central nervous system to the vice versa, and from the vice versa to the sorry. Okay, by which the impulses travels from the central nervous system to the visceral parts, that is the viscera, and from the viscera to the central nervous system. Okay, got it? Done? Yes. So the ganglia, what do you actually mean by ganglia? Ganglia means it is a nerve cell. Ganglia is actually a nerve cell cluster. Nerve cell cluster, that is a group of nerve cell or a group of nerve cell bodies located in the autonomic nervous system. Guys, have you all taken down your NCRTs with you and are marking? Next is the nerve plexus. A plexus which is a branching network of intersecting nerves. Clear? You don't have to study in detail, but ganglia it's important. Okay. Ganglia is important. Reflex action, studying from our fifth standards was reflex action. It is a rapid, involuntary, unconscious action of the body in response to a stimulus. What do you mean by a stimulus? Any changes, any changes happening inside our surrounding which affects the normal state of our body. Okay, which affects the normal states of our body is something which is referred to as the stimulus. When he thinks, is it fine? Is it fine now? Yes. Guys, in between, due to this connectivity, it is getting break. I think now it's fine. Yes. Let's wait for 2 minutes if we get any breaks like this. No 2 minutes, just 10 or 20 seconds. Yes. Guys, the touching lips. Look, this is actually the touching lips of the nursing baby walks a sucking reflex. Closing of the eyelids when light falls on them, when extreme light falls on our eyes, we immediately close our eyes in order to reduce the amount of light entering our eye. Right? So that is the closing of the eyelids. Next is the knee jerk phenomenon. Okay, knee jerk phenomenon. And if a child sees or smell, when we see or smell a food, definitely we will salivate. We will salivate. Salivation happens in our mouth. If your mother is cooking some kind of a delicious food in the kitchen and you're getting the smell from the place where you're studying, your study would definitely get affected. Your mouth starts whenever at the spot instant when you're getting the smell of your favorite food, you will start to salivate. Even though at before 10 seconds your belly is full, also your mouth will definitely start salivating because that's a kind of a reflex that your body is showing. For example, it is a kind of a conditioned reflex. That is, we have acquired that reflex. We have acquired that such kind of a reflex throughout our lifetime. Done? Yes. Next is the path or the things that are involved in the reflex action. So guys, a stimulus is there. A stimulus. A stimulus is coming and that stimulus is received by the muscle spindle, which is a receptor. The receptor passes it to the efferent pathway or the sensory neuron. From the sensory neuron, it passes on to the dorsal root ganglion. That are all the other parts of the spinal cord. So spinal cord, you have the path that is a stimulus passed on to the muscle spindle receptor, afferent nerve, dorsal root ganglion. From dorsal root ganglion to the white matter, from the white matter to the gray matter, From gray matter, you will get it into the interneuron, or you can call it as what? Association neuron also. From association neuron to the motor neuron will be to the efferent pathway, and the motor efferent pathway or the motor neuron to the effector, and finally it will have a reflex. Done? Yes. So these are the path you have to study it like that itself. Reflex arc means the pathway of impulses in a reflex action. First one, a receptor organ that receives the stimulus. From the receptor organ, it is passed on to the sensory neuron or efferent neuron. It transmits the impulses to the sense organ of the central nervous system, then to the intermediate neuron or the connected neuron. Then motor neuron, and finally to the effect gland or a muscle. Okay. Done. Is anybody here? Can you all hear me? No one is responding. That's why I'm asking. Calvin and Srujana, can you hear me? Heard about the reflex arc? What I taught you now? Yes, thank you so much. So that's all about today's class. So thank you guys. Subscribe our wonderful YouTube channel of Bio Point Stream, the world of bio. Don't forget to share it with your friends. And today sharp at 5 p.m. I'm coming out with a surprise reveal, a super duper strategy for NEET 2021 batch. Okay, to practice maximum MCQs. Don't miss the super duper session, which is going to be live sharp at 5 p.m. today. Okay. Done, everyone. Surprise reveal from BioPoint Stream, the world of bio, exclusively for NEET 2020. Done. So see you. Plan physiology. This nervous system, we'll complete it within 2 days. Tuesday, I have to complete with this chapter. Anything we will do to complete. Sometimes I'll be taking 2 classes. Anyway, I have to complete with nervous system Tuesday itself. Done? Srujana, done. Yes, everybody I'm telling will complete it on Tuesday, because we have one class eye and one class about ear, tongue, eye, ear in the next class. Okay. And Wednesday we will begin the chemical coordination and integration. And I don't know what's the date with the next week. I don't know the next Monday. By this Sunday, we are going to pack up with our human physiology completely. Okay, next Monday we are beginning with plant physiology, transport in plants, or we will be beginning with photosynthesis also. I'll tell you the chapter which will begin, because transport in plants, mineral nutrition and all are all on a standstill. We don't know whether NTA would include it or not, because NTA has told that 30% of portions will definitely be cut down, and we don't know about that. What is that 30% we are thinking about? Okay, so photosynthesis is there for the CBSE syllabus also right now, so there is no chance for deleting that chapter. Done? So bye bye guys, see you in the evening with supremely amazing lecture. Study well, practice MCQs, do well for the next exam.